YouTube, welcome back for another episode at the Bettors Edge. We have completed the wild card round in the NFL, and now we are into the final eight, the divisional round of the playoffs. I'm going to break down each and every single game coming at us this weekend, guys, one by one in a preview. And later on this week, I'll provide you guys with my official picks, my official plays in a concise video as we get closer and closer to game time for each of these games. Let's kick it off on Saturday afternoon, guys. The very first game in the divisional round. We have, in my opinion, the most interesting game of the four matchups. We have the Buffalo Bills on the road going to Denver and Mile High Stadium facing off against the one seed in the AFC and the Denver Broncos. Right now, this line, guys, is sitting at Broncos -1. This game is interesting, and there's a ton of different talking points that we have to cover. First and foremost, obviously, guys, the Denver Broncos are coming off of a bye week. Typically speaking, in the NFL, teams coming off of a bye week have tremendous success in the divisional round of the playoffs. Obviously, they're not undefeated. They're not unbeaten. This goes back years and years of data, but they have tremendous success as a one seed, historically speaking. We've seen in other sports, bye weeks maybe not have so much success. We've seen Major League Baseball implement a bye into their playoff system within the last few years. The teams with byes haven't had tremendous success in the early goings with that format. And then recently in the college football playoffs, we've also seen teams with the bye not have so much success. So it's interesting that the dynamic in the NFL, maybe it's because these coaches have much more experience of playing with the bye, so they're a little bit more seasoned in that regard. But for whatever reason, in other sports, like as I mentioned, college football and in baseball, in the NFL, it's a bit different with teams with the bye having some success. With that said, we're dealing with the Broncos team here that, obviously speaking, is one of the top 2 or 3 defensive units in the entire NFL. We know what we're going to get from the Broncos. We're going to get a stout run defense, and we're going to get a defense that also is going to defend the pass at a very high level. Pat Surtain, in my opinion, is probably the best cornerback in all of the NFL. He's going to shut down whoever he's going up against one-on-one for 4 quarters. Now, whether they have him covering a specific player or down in, down out, if he's shadowing a guy or not, whoever he's going up against for that specific down is getting shut down on that down, and that's going to be the case for the better part of 4 quarters. He might give up a catch or two for a handful of yards here or there, but for the most part, you know what you're getting from Pat Surtain. What we've seen from this Broncos offense has to be concerning. In the last 3 games that this team has played, they haven't scored more than 20 points offensively. The type of game plan that we've seen from Sean Payton offensively is also a major concern, and it's a major red flag. The types of plays that he's calling, the type of offense that they're running, there's not a ton of creativity. There's not a ton of downfield passing. I want to say Bo Nix hasn't even surpassed 200 yards of passing in the last 2 games that he's played in. Going into this matchup, we know, like we talked about last weekend, what we're going to get from the Buffalo Bills. With the Buffalo Bills, you're dealing with a one-man wrecking crew, and that's Josh Allen. We talked about it on the show going into that matchup. We talked about how the Jags were probably the better team, but the man wearing the cape, the man playing Superman, is Josh Allen. And Josh Allen was able to put the team on his back and get them out of Duval with the W last weekend. Moving into this matchup, it's almost a similar or exact same dynamic. You're dealing with the better team in Denver, but the best player on the field is still Josh Allen. It's going to come down to what type of success is Josh Allen going to be able to have, because we know on the ground the Bills love to run the ball. But this Denver defense is going to take the ground attack away. Josh Allen's going to have his cape on again in Mile High, and going to have to put points on the board in order for him to win this game. We know that is going to have to happen. When we're looking at this game, and you're looking at a kind of bird's eye view, if you will, if you want to zoom out just a bit, and the entire landscape of the AFC, I'm not necessarily saying that the winner of this game is going to win the AFC for sure. But I'm kind of looking at this game as a quasi AFC Championship type of game. I think the winner of this game is most likely going to be favored in the AFC Championship game, no matter who they play. Whether it's Denver versus New England or Denver versus Houston, Denver's going to be favored at home. I also get the impression that even if Buffalo wins and they're going to Houston or they're going to New England, I think Buffalo's going to be the favorite in that game. Now, the favorites don't automatically win. We know that. But if you're Denver or if you're Buffalo, you really have to like your chances to win the conference if you're able to get out of this game with a victory. With all of that said, we know what's at stake here for Josh Allen. We know he's been able to pile up all the statistics, all the individual awards. It's now time for him to continue carrying this team on his back and carrying them beyond just the divisional round or the AFC Championship game. He's got to get to a Super Bowl. I don't think the critics are that loud just yet, but with no Lamar, no Joe Burrow, no Patrick Mahomes in the AFC playoffs this season, if the time isn't now for Josh Allen, then when is it going to be? With all of that said, guys, looking at this game, breaking down statistically how these two teams match up, Josh Allen being on the road, going into Mile High, I talk about this very, very often. For most opponents, that environment is difficult, not just dealing with their fan base, but at the same time dealing with the altitude. However, Josh Allen went to college at Wyoming. The altitude of Wyoming isn't far off from Mile High. That's something that we have to take into consideration, and that's something that plays into the hands and the advantage of Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. The Denver Broncos aren't going to get the full advantage of playing at Mile High this weekend that they typically do against most opponents that they face, because Josh Allen has that previous experience. Ultimately, where I was going with this is this game is going to fall on the shoulders of Bo Nix. If we get a performance from Bo Nix, like we saw against the Green Bay Packers about a month ago, where he threw for about 350 some odd yards, he put the offense on his back, he generated huge plays in huge moments, the Denver Broncos will win this game. And the possibility is there because this Buffalo defense is there for the taking. We know that. However, if we get an offensive performance from this Denver Broncos team and from Bo Nix, like we've seen the last 3 weeks, without surpassing 20 points, there's no way they're going to defeat the Buffalo Bills by scoring 19 or 20 points this weekend. Josh Allen is putting up a minimum of 21 on Saturday. So when I'm breaking this game down, it's going to come down to who do I think is going to put up a better performance, and can I or can I not rely on Bo Nix in his first playoff start of his career in a huge moment, not only for that franchise, but also for the Bills franchise and for Josh Allen himself? Will Bo Nix be able to outduel him 1v1? That's what this game is ultimately going to come down to. I'll be back later this week to tell you officially which team I'm backing in this game. Guys, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll be back tomorrow previewing the San Francisco 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks.